don't eat that no more. I just said, like I said, man, you used to drink that wine and stuff. What happened? I said, oh, well, I forgot. I said, I one came by, I just forgot. I forgot to drink it. Then I looked up and said, damn, I ain't had that since, this was a couple of months. So you have people like that don't have an addictive nature. But this brother said, whenever he decided to stop, he said, when he went back to the bar to hang out with the brothers, he said, I'm still your boys, I'm just not drinking. They were like, what, you think you're better than us? And basically, he had to get a whole new group of friends because they were not going to allow that because their whole life was based on the social aspect of the drinking. You see what I'm saying? And he said, he became a vegetarian overnight and his own wife felt alienated because that eating was a social pattern. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, we're talking about down here, you got to have some kind of license.
See, I got a problem. I'm missing, I'm balling as boring as hell. I done fuck so many bitches, they think that I'm going to hell. I'm part of the message with bitches, I might be going to jail. I dance with the devil, they taking my pictures, I'm bogus as hell. I just got back from a tour, but we wasn't doing no shows. Nah, we was moving them pancakes, yeah, flipping them O's. They selling my soul, tell me some shit I don't already know. Now call me a Uber, all of my bitches is ready to go. I'm a no-limit soldier, Master P, body nigga. Take a blunt to the head, so I don't say hi to you niggas. And she wanna see what I do with the D when I come out the suit. But wait till they see what I do with this beat when I come out the booth. This is a cash money record for niggas that threw up the rock. My niggas is G's, distributing units, putting the D all over the block. My face is on cable, the situation is stable. Hood X is the brand, we inside of your waters, we inside of your label.
You gotta snap some collars and let them motherfuckers know you there to take whatever out anytime you feel like it. You gotta get the ground beneath your feet, partner. Get the whip on your back by the flames you got. Otherwise, you ain't shit.
These niggas that claim they your boy, but they really be trolling your page. Cause they never around when you crush the mic and walk up the stage. They mad cause they stuck in the past, mad cause they stuck in their ways. They rapping for free, but they say it's a scam if you try to get paid. Okay, he mad because I did it first. Okay, he mad because I made it work. Okay, he mad because I made a squirt. But I'm so happy because I'm smoking perk. She said you crying to shout. She said you really a coward. She said you after the money, but I told her that come after the power. And life is what you make it, and I'm feeling like I made it to the top. Like it's 2001 and a nigga finally made it to the rock. Spitting that game in your ear, yeah, let me give you that feeling. The H to the O to the O to the D to the X. My niggas is speeding like Riddlin'. My face is on cable. The situation is stable. But X the brand, we inside of your waters, we inside of your label.
Took yourself out, and I was glad you killed yourself. See, you don't get into that because because we are on the survival thing. Everything is based on living, and it costs no. Living ain't shit. That's that old Christian mentality. Oh, I'm just glad I woke up this morning. Well, a goddamn dog just woke up this morning. How you know that God, he woke you up this morning? Hell, a fucking rat woke up this morning. That don't mean shit. But at what level? What capacity? You see what I'm saying? So based on the capacity, you understand what I'm saying? The right thing to do was to take yourself out for the simple fact that this ain't shit. And for the mere fact that he did that is letting you know that it's a doggone gesture. That this shit is over. He's only going where we going anyway. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to start thinking that particular mentality and stop valuing life as so precious. Fuck the dumb shit. You understand what I'm saying? You're grasping for straws, Russian roulette, spin the fucking bottle. You understand what I'm saying? This is nothing. This is over with. And for the mere fact that life is tedious and repetitious, and you got to develop new ways to even enjoy yourself, or new drugs to take yourself out of this, it means that the airplane is gone. In the story. You understand what I'm saying? And you should be looking at that every day. Every day you wake up, you go, oh, it's another damn day. I got to invent something new. You understand? To drug myself out about this poisonous bullshit down here. You see what I'm saying? And it's even like that in the scriptures, in the Gospel of Thomas, the one that they took out of the Bible, say, if for those people seeking, may you find, and when you find, you should be distraught and disturbed when you find knowledge based on the world around you. But if you are disturbed, start rejoicing because the kingdom is at hand. You see what I'm saying? But it's saying that all this, when your eyes are open, you see the bullshit for what it is. And you shouldn't enjoy this particular stuff and say everything gonna be all right. These drug things. You see what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful day. What makes it a damn beautiful day? You understand what I'm saying? When your people can't even enjoy shit.
Now, like I said, the key here is you must, at this particular time, understand that you're not going to gain anything by going to these particular groups. You see what I'm saying? These particular groups. You got to study. You see. And, again, the problem is you get beat over the head because you all are thinking and we're locked in this endless battle on how all this knowledge that we learned, how we going to go back and try to convince our family members. And that's the biggest mistake ever. Your family members are the worst people in the world. And this is a privilege. It's just like any initiation system. Nobody don't wake up the same time of day, so damn it, what do you think they're going to wake up? That's right. You see, they're in a catatonic state, but you are the representatives of them damn fools. So because you are, they don't have to be. They just wait around till the damn party starts. Because they have their representative in the field for them. You know that shit you do when you don't want to go to a funeral? We'll send one motherfucker as a representative. You know what I'm saying? This bitch, you ain't got no money to travel halfway the country. So they put some money together and send one nigga out as a representative. Well, you are a representative in the field, so shut your mouth. You don't have to tell them nothing. Plus, on the other hand, you all are trying to look to say if they will believe it, then it can be valid for you. The only way that this can be valid for you is you have to make the decision for it to be valid for you. And on the other hand, therefore, when we're giving this particular information, please, whatever you do, don't follow me. Don't even believe. I don't give a fuck if you don't even believe what I say. Because it's not about that.
We ain't producing nothing. Now, you think this is all in the scheme of things, but we are childlike people that we got to get to a high level, at least with us. Because this stuff is over. You don't believe nothing. I'm not here telling you that I'm not going to espouse to make a better day for black people. That ain't happening. So we cut through the bullshit. So we don't have to come back here thousands of times again thinking the earth going to get better for black people. That's not happening. First of all, I'm looking at black people at a new light now. We are actually an obsolete people in the white man's society. These practices on a whole nother damn level. I'm not, believe me, I can say this shit about black people because I talk shit about the white man. We're going to go into this Yahoo thing again tomorrow on some new evidence on the Yahoo thing tomorrow. But I can talk this shit because I tell you the white man is the fucking fucked up enemy, or the devil, or the beast, or whatever you want to call it. So that way I can be critical with black people. So I'm not like no some old Republican motherfucker. They're telling you we're looking at a critical analysis of black social pathology and behavior, and all right, and black social pathology and behavior. So my point is, it's almost like overnight we have become obsolete. Now we know the white man is behind this stuff, but my point is, I'm saying this particular thing because there's something divine in what I'm saying, as if when you realize that there's no future for you, you can get to the next plateau. It is only when you realize that there's no future to you, that you can go to the next plateau, or still be bouncing around here talking about we don't own this and we don't own that. We're never going to do that. We're never going to own it. Number one, we are not advanced enough to own it because we are sick in the head. Number two, on top of that, we got an enemy that's going to make sure that we don't want it. Number three, we got an enemy that we don't know our damn enemy no more. Most people don't suspect that the white man is their enemy. Whenever the white man made you embarrassed to talk about racism, he got your ass. So the masses of the people are finished. But then again, there's something divine in that, because that's what is prophesied. When all is lost, that's when it comes. So we're talking about now having a group of people that look beyond this bullshit. Because it ain't happening. So once you get that in your head, then you can go further.
You don't think this shit is savage? Black people are savage. We don't need to damn put all this damn to the Afrocentric. Oh, yes, it's beautiful and all that kind of shit. Let's tell the goddamn truth. That cracker right. The damn bell curve was right. Y'all don't even understand nothing about the way the white man do shit. The white man didn't put out no bell curve talking about you. The white man put out a bell curve on what the fuck was gonna happen to your ass. Look, the bell curve said that black people are intellectually inferior. Now, let's break this goddamn bullshit down. If you don't study, if you don't like knowledge, if you don't talk about shit with Shaquille O'Neal, you are intellectually inferior. Now, we're not saying that you don't have the potential to accelerate your intellect. You're born with that. But
today, this is rocket chest style. This is sometimes I sit back and freestyle knowledge. And if anybody got any questions, feel free to ask, because that helped me direct the knowledge that I got. Sometimes when you're spiritual, the mind is infinite. And then you need a reference point. And if you don't have a reference point, then you just start going in, you know what I'm saying, regularly, like, hey, so that's what I do, rocket chest style, freestyle in the mind, you know what I'm saying, random thoughts, all spirituality. And I don't know if any of you know this. I know if you're a spiritual person, supreme or God body, or look forward to the Most High, that in these times, it's hard to be spiritual. It kind of sucks because you got to talk to motherfuckers that's not even on your wavelength. And not to say on your wavelength, but you're gonna have a lot of conversations about bullshit if you're spiritual. You're going to be around a lot of people who think bullshit. So if you're spiritual, don't feel bad because you're going to be acting. You're going to do a lot of acting. And the acting is acting like you give a fuck about what this person talking about, or acting like you give a fuck about being here when really you just bored. You know what I'm saying? But when I say that, like, niggas talk to me about the game, basketball game, the club, the strip club, and I literally have to go into acting mode and think about a basketball player just to talk about, feel like, okay, I need to, okay, Derrick Rose. Okay, yeah, Derrick Rose. And I just make some shit up, you know what I'm saying? Let that motherfucker talk. So don't feel bad. If you're spiritual, just remember you're going to have to do a lot of acting and a lot of false conversations and entertaining bullshit, as it comes with the program, unless you can manage a way to wake somebody up, you know what I'm saying? And if you got any knowledge, I advise you is let the door open before you kick the knowledge. Do not force knowledge, information, wisdom, and understanding on nobody, because the way the planetary grid is set up with this alienated control or shadow government control is to mind slide, meaning if you say anything thoughtful, thought-provoking, or supreme or helpful, the mind is going to blank. The average down mind is just going to blank that out, and they're going to get offended. And you're trying to teach them something, and you're trying to figure out why is this person getting offended. So, just wait till the door open. They going to always ask a question. And the soul that really want to know, going to ask. The soul that really want to know, going to inquire. You know what I'm saying? So don't cast pearls to swine, as Jesus would say. You know what I mean? In rocking chair mode, I want to talk about the law. The law of transcendence. You know what I'm saying? And it's astrological correspondence. It's Ophiuchus, the saying, the 13th zodiac, Chevron, divine fire water, the golden gate. And it's the, chakra and spirit nine, or the casual mind, or the nomadic body, or monadic body. And through the pursuit of enlightenment and the result of awakening conscious, the ego loses dominance, and we recognize the flow of the divine, the spirit within, everything. We naturally choose to consciously participate in co-creating with God's source in order to generate more goodness for everyone on this earth. Now, saying that is, I don't know if anybody ever been in love before or how you look at love, but December 21st, the planets line up, planetary equation represents you're going to go forward, upward, gooder, or you're going to go backwards, downward, darker. You know what I'm saying? Or what they call evil. You know what I'm saying? Now, right now is the time to decide. Some of them you already have made your choices. And a lot of transcendence is love, and I had to think a lot about the people around me and the frustration by living in Chicago, by living in Chirac, by, gunshots all goddamn day flying past, ambulances and shit. And in this, I still have to look around and find love.
in all of this. And it ain't me no Mary had a little lamb Jesus with the sandals on. Oh, I love everybody. Or I love my enemies. No, it's love, just a genuine love. Like, how could I put it? You look at a person and you feel some type of empathy, remorse, or anything, just love. Love is I got a dog, and people walk dogs, and a lot of people walk a dog and they just walk the dog. But my walking the dog is the love I got for things, reality, God, in the nature. I walk my dog. I let him walk, do his walk, because I think about him. Like, okay, he want to walk. You know, he want to go here, and instead of saying no, come here, I let him go there. He want to sniff here. Instead of saying no, come on, I let him sniff it, because the love in me is concerned with what the love for him, like what he want. You know, it's not just about me. And I know it's a lot of people who don't like dogs. You got to kind of watch out for them, because, you know, that's kind of something different. It's one thing to be scared of a dog, but not like dogs. It's kind of like I'm a selfish person, you know what I'm saying? Because I notice a lot of people who got pets and animals and have love for dogs and things of that nature are generally high-spirited people, because every day they have got themselves an animal or a second a responsibility that they didn't have to get. Not like a baby, but they didn't have to get to say, look, I am your Lord and Master, and depending on me, I have to stay focused to keep you alive. So a dog is really an unselfish thing. You know, it's like, okay, I'm sitting here by myself. I get a dog, that's going to give me something to take care of. That's going to give me something to nurture. That's, you know, to get me to think outside of myself. You know what I'm saying? So the reason I use the dog as an example, because why should a man be concerned about a dog, you know, mentality? But that's how deep I go with the love. You know, a squirrel, if I see that motherfucker look like he hungry, I'm going to go get something to feed him. You know what I'm saying? When I ride down the street, I look at the trees, I look at the air, I look at the clouds. I don't just look forward. A lot of people just look forward. They don't see none of nature, nothing running around, none of it, just forward. And you looking forward, meaning is, it's not so much that you don't look up, but your perception in your mind is not built to see anything other than the three-dimensional plane. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't understand what I'm saying, watch the movie that was on Netflix called Incarnate. And a lot of times, if you want to clone people, mind program people, or control people, right now the newer technology, latest technology on the low is perception reverse, or perception control, or control perception. And the person say, well, what do you mean control perception? Okay, I stand outside 7 o'clock in the morning versus a sleep person or a goon or someone who's not highly woke or don't care to be woke, stand outside. The birds chirping. The air is crisp. The sun is gleaming through the cloud. You know how that look. It's a good feeling. I take a deep breath and say, wow, what a lovely day. The other motherfucker don't see none of this. It's still there, but in his perception of mind, he don't notice the cloud. He don't see the birds. He don't hear the birds. The thing he think about is scratching his balls like, man, shit, I need a cigarette. You see what I'm saying? That's two different perceptions going on. I need a cigarette. And they can keep you in there, I need a cigarette and a drink, mind spraying. You know what I'm saying? And or it could be the other one, you know, live, life, and love. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like, you go in somebody's house, you see a piece of paper on the ground. A lot of people walk past it. But when you spiritually inclined, you're going to, like, pick the paper up. You know what I'm saying? You know, just do things outside of the ordinary. And like I said, it's just a freestyle. This ain't nothing major. You know, any questions, please feel free to ask. Like I said, this that brother Pomo. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for over 15 years. I have evolved so high that I have lost myself in evolution of spirituality. And I had stopped talking for a while because I had to come off the mountain to come back to find myself. You see what I'm saying? And that's something deep. When you know, as you get so spiritual, you start to lose yourself. And you don't want to do that. You still want to have a little bit of the ego or a little bit of the personality, but not let the ego rule you, but you rule the personality. And the ego meaning is, if you get so high spiritual, you're gonna run around here like Gandhi. You're gonna run around here with a robe on. You don't even want, none of that stuff. And it's good. It's good to be like that. But the thing is, you still got to communicate in this world. You still want to look cool. You still want to be fly. So keep a little bit of the ego. If you get so high in spirituality, keep a little bit with you. That's gonna get you to go buy this, put this on, look like this, swag like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing to be a spiritual person with swag. You know what I'm saying? Because the way the Matrix is running it, if you spiritual, you out here looking like a goofy. You looking like a broke person, just somebody out here, like you ain't on nothing. The closest prototype they got that they're trying to recreate in spirituality is Young Chopper or NFL Chopper, whatever that dude is. And he's trying to go spiritual. You see what I'm saying? And that brother, I give it up to him because he like, man, fuck all this. This is who I am. This is how I am. I got the money. I got a car. I got a house. It's kind of like Kendrick Lamar. They said, man, why you ain't buy no big old house? He said, man, look, I'm going to just get a nice little house that I can pay off and then build a big house on top of the paid off foundation versus the baby lick or a Birdman. I got a $7 million house that I'm paying on. You see what I'm saying? And now the money's slow, and now he got to sell it versus Kendrick Lamar. The money's slow, but he already paid for his house. And he already built a bigger house that's paid for on top of his house. So you see the ideology that really they right now coronavirus is honestly God is on his way or God is here. And what I mean by that is in this time, this is a humbling experience for all of us. Corona, you know, this is ain't no distractions, ain't no kicking it, ain't no clubs, ain't no nothing. So everybody that's left that got kicked out the club, out the concerts and everything, they're just left there standing, and now they got to sit in solitude. And what they don't understand and notice is that the spiritual person been doing this for 10 years already. So this is nothing to him not to go nowhere, not to do nothing, to stay on the mountain, to study and learn and build on God. But for the lower carnal mind, they are going insane. That's why you got these brothers killing each other. That's why you got Boosie getting shot. That's why you got goddamn, Lil Mo died. I mean, they don't know. They got all this backed up materialistic matrix energy, but it has no release. So it looks like this. And hold on, like my situation. Like I said, it look like this. So if you spiritual, corona is actually a good thing for you. The virus, and not the virus itself, but what the virus has done to the earth and has done to America and how it brought it to its knees and humbled everybody. This is y'all time to shine. This is the time the spiritual people supposed to speak. But how they do it, Satan, government, in these times, you won't even talk. That's how they do it. So what they did to me, as back in the day, I was like a poor righteous teacher, you know, and I used to hustle and all that, you know, make a long story short, got through that fire, got out the lion's den, you know what I'm saying, kicked it in the ring of fire, came upstairs and I was straight, became a God King, you know who I am now. But I used to do that, but now I don't really, I'm not really entertained by that type of stuff. I'm not really entertained by that. Hold on, I'm losing my thoughts here. I need a question. I'm losing my thoughts. But right now, I'm not really entertained by that. But back then, I was like this, like, okay, yeah, poor righteous teacher. But all of a sudden, as I became more in knowledge, like Jay-Z say, this spiritual shit really worked. The poor righteous teacher became rich righteous teacher. And not because of anything I did or plan I came up with or anything concrete or I got this job or I did this, but stand in spirituality at the end, fuck time. People think time. Now, you take out time, I was in a one-bedroom apartment by myself. And next thing you know, and now I'm in a house. You see what I'm saying? Sitting back, I ain't got to do shit paid. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, they thought they was going to give me these things, tangible items, cars, house, money, clothes, and hopefully I'll forget about spirituality. And that was their plan, because they couldn't kill me. You know, they wanted to kill me, but like Tupac, you got to kill the spirit and the mind before you can kill a prophet. Or the Messiah. So bring him to me alive in body, but dead in spirit. And what they try to do is kill my spirit before they kill me, but they couldn't kill my spirit. So they had to figure out, how can we kill this nigga or kill this brother? You know what I'm saying? And how can we kill his spirit, then kill him? So they never was able to kill my spirit. So they said, no, we'll give him everything. Maybe him having a car, house, and all that, pick a white fence, dog, that'll make him he'll be so comfortable, that'll make him stop speaking. So they tried that. And now here I am now, and it still don't work. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm going even harder. I'm going even more. I'm talking even more. And I ain't worried about death. You know, death, I kill my own self. You see what I'm saying? Come back in the same body. And what I mean by that is, if you want to die and resurrect in the same body, all you have to do is get rid of the old memories, delete the old person, and forget everything you ever knew as the old person, and then recreate a new person in a new reality. That's it. Because the only thing that keeps you who you are is memories. And memory, and if you lose the memories, you lose the person you is. So a lot of people tell me about war stories I used to do, things I used to shoot at people, all that, and I really don't remember what they're talking about. And it scares me, and I had to play along like I kind of do. And it's a vague memory, because what happened was, I am not the same person I was then. Meaning, my blood don't pump the same it was then. You see what I'm saying? My mind don't think. I deleted all my old files and got a new computer. That's just what I did. And then I put in this new computer all wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and things of that nature. Like I said, this rocket chair mode. I don't really get off into a topic, but I'm just freestyling. Like I say, law correspondence, transcendence, love, supreme love. We need to practice supreme love. And it ain't the same love you think love for a man and a woman, but to give you a feeling of it, it's when you first meet somebody you like and they like you. That type of feeling. You want to wake up every day, see that person, be around that. That's the love that you got to have for every fucking thing around. And I know it's hard because everybody around you feeding your darkness. At the same time, you only allow what people enter, what enters your mind. You only allow, what you entertain. Like I said, the devil can't come in your house. You got to invite him in. And a lot of times people are inviting them in and don't even know it, And when I say the devil, right now we got entities out here, and we call them shadow walkers and hood X, like Incarnate on Netflix, Azazel in Fall in the movie, and these are entities, and I always talk about them because they're real, and the entity, what it do is it hover over a weak person, assimilate its thought pattern, figure out its weakness, and then it enters that person. And once it enters that person, it's it got to get stronger in that person. So it say, you drink a little while I'm in you, I'm gonna want you to drink a lot because it need acidic shit to feed. It's a parasite. So it's a parasitic idea that grows off acidic living. You see what I'm saying? And they real, and they don't mess with you if you think before you speak or think before you move. It's kind of hard for them to control you like that. Like I said, it's Pomo. I'm in rocking chair mode. I'm just freestyling knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This really ain't got no topic. I do these sometimes. I just go off into the ether, and just get to spit. You know what I'm saying? And, if anybody want to know anything about me, I am black. I don't believe in racism. You know what I'm saying? This shit just like what that's like some black and white shit. I know it's racism out here, but I don't look at the white boy like he calling me a nigger. Like, oh shit, I look at him like somebody just a shorty. You know what I'm saying? Or any other person. I don't really get into black and white because at the end of the day, we all the motherfucking same unless you in spirituality. You know what I'm saying? So that's shit. As a first level. Black and white racism is the first level. And a lot of people get stuck at the first level. Then you got the second level, which is religion. And I study all religions. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to put me in no box. You're not going to tell me, I'm a Christian and the Most High and everything is evil and everything outside of the Bible is evil. No, that's not fair to the people around the world. But about the Muslims, I might be a good person, but I grew up in Pakistan and I don't know nothing about it. Never heard of Christianity or the Bible. But I'm reading the Quran. So am I going to hell or am I wrong? You see what I'm saying? So people got to stop gangbanging with this religion shit, and just keep it all one. Read everything, get what you can, and discard what you don't like. Just like Bruce Lee. That's why he was the master of his craft. He studied all martial arts. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't beat him. And they didn't like that. They just wanted to keep it under the gangbanging, that one martial art. No, study all. You can't punch nobody with one finger. But if you study all 5 martial arts like that, you can make a fist, you can close them and knock a motherfucker out. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, it's poetic, rocket chair style. And this is the age of the law of transcendence. And another thing is the rule of killing the rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's killing rapper season. The new thing. And they out here. They handling that business. Whenever you see a person do some stupid shit, that's a shadow walker into that person's body. And what it do is it strokes the ego. It strokes the ego. It strokes the ego. So first you was humble, now you got a record deal, now you're around guys, now can't nobody tell you shit. And once you in that Azazel state of mind, the stroke ego, can't nobody tell you shit. What the body don't know is that it is taking you over. But you don't feel it like it's something taking you over. You just, somebody say, man, you changed, man, you ain't the same. And when somebody tell you that, and it's kind of for the bad, you need to pay attention because that means that entity is taking you over. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know it because of time. day by day, minute by minute, second by second. And plus money, they lock you in. But like I said, it's poetic. I'm gonna read this and then I'll probably close this out, and it's the law of transcendence. Through transcendence of the earthly personality, we become aware of our consciousness power to understand the operation of general causes and effects, observing natural laws in action. Focus on the spiritual being, knowing your purpose. That's a good thing. You gotta have a purpose. Give yourself a purpose. That way the earth will protect you. But if you ain't got no purpose and you just out here, you're gonna die just like the wild animals. Or be subjected to shit like that, just like a random event. Experience our relationship to God Creator, and in the face of this truth, we give up everything so that we can receive something of much more greater value. Now, when they say they give up everything, I'm gonna read the rest of it, then we can get back to that. The law of transcendence removes the veil of light and time to experience true unity with God, to experience the interconnection that exists in all things. The truth of our purpose is revealed to us. We see the laws in creation, and we are filled with awe at the magnificence and beauty of God's nature. Now, let's go back to that. They say you got to let go everything, give up everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to the Bible, that's when Jesus and then Satan said, I will give you everything if you just stand behind me. Jesus like, no. Or that's another term, be in this world, but not of this world. And the actuality of that is I used to hustle and give up everything, meaning is you just let go. And honestly, once you become more spiritual, all that extraterrestrial, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to just start to leave. You know what I'm saying? And when I say love, as it said here, you see everything, God in everything, even a fucked up person, you see God in a fucked up person. Because it's not, don't take nothing no personal. Just don't take things so personal no more. When you're spiritual, please, just don't take nothing personal. That's how you keep the love in your heart. Don't take nothing personal. That's how you get that Scrooge on you. But nothing is personal in spirituality. Only thing you really realize is people have no understanding, and it's not their fault. They can't help it. You know what I'm saying? And if I can teach them and show them the light, I will. If they refuse, okay, that's the regular person. You know what I'm saying? And I done got so non-personal and loving it. I see the entity that's taken over a person, the demon that's in a person. And I don't even talk to that person. I just talk to the entity behind it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I might be sounding like I'm rambling, but this poetic, random thoughts, if anything I said, it may help you. No, COVID-19 is a humbling experience for the earth, and time for the person that's spiritual. I guess, that people going to look your way. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, signup.hoodx.com, it's poetic, and I'm out.
Feeling that I get when I'm hearing my own bars and I'm sitting in a car and I'm staring at the stars. Travel astroplane, conversating with the gods with my boss while I speak into a mic in my garage. Only she was right in front of you. You think I'm trying to front for you? If you ain't got no consciousness, the only time I run from you. If you a female, then I probably just smoke a blunt with you and talk about the stupid shit that's gonna make you comfortable. You ever seen testosterone? Baby, you get vulnerable. You might just get piping hot until you get combustible. I'm the type to watch you do that shit. I go to lunch with you, but if you got some consciousness, the only way I fuck with you. I am on another level, know the devil by his name. We call a major shit. We jumping, touching, brain to brain. The knowledge that I'm spitting, it can make a nigga go insane. But I don't give no fuck, I just keep spitting till I make a change. Why you keep talking about that hood that shit? Cause we get high off the name when you say that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood that shit? Cause we get fly like a plane, nigga, play that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood that shit? Cause we get high off the name when you say that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood that shit? Cause we get fly like a plane, nigga, play that shit. She play me in the morning, she play me in the night. Got her playing with her pussy while I'm loading up the pipe. It's like angels and the demons, we was fucking every night. She can feel it in her soul, she about to see the light. She say that she a goddess, that's the type of shit I like. And I got first class kush, we about to take a flight. Let me travel through your speakers in the middle of the night. Bring you all that you imagine, baby, everything is right. If you come and go with me, you will seek and you shall find that I shall touch your inner soul. And that's some shit that's hard to find. You distracted by the niggas in the liquor and the wine and all the knowledge and the drugs. Let me touch your inner spine. Why you keep talking about that hood that shit? Cause we get high off the name when you say that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood ass shit? Cause we can fly like a plane, nigga, play that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood ass shit? Cause we get high off the name when you say that shit. Why you keep talking about that hood ass shit? Cause we can fly like a plane, nigga, play that shit. The fuel is in my veins, the fire's in my heart, spitting darts, spitting bars from my soul in my garage. Put the key in the ignition, let it spark, start the car, light up blunts, take a ride, we gon' travel to the stars. Me and you, late night, ain't no tearing us apart. Up in heaven, looking down on the earth like it's ours. I'm a king, she a queen in the flesh like a massage. I'm a resurrected black man, baby, I'm a god. Why you keep talking about that same old lame shit? There's money in this car, yeah, he stuck on that plane shit. My imagination's about the size of a gon' fucking go ape shit. It's only so much I can say. Baby, you know how we do.
Tonight's host
Let's go.
will be Brother Pomatic, the founder of Godspeed Nation.com. You can find him on the find the Godspeed Nation chat on Facebook, and we're gonna break bread right now. We're gonna get down, talk about some things that may be new to some of you and may be old for others. So please call in to the line. Please play this back on TalkShoe. And if we have any other callers on the line, please make yourself known at this moment.
Storm is here, me and the baby.
Hey, all right. We got Sister Storm in the house. How you feel?
I'm good.
It's good to have you with us. Carbo, that was perfect, man. Nice show is brought to you by Godspeed Broadcast. It's your host, Pomatic, a.k.a. the High Priest, a.k.a. Poetic Hustler, with my man, Brother Manifestation, a.k.a. Carbo Light, a.k.a. Stream Video Maker, a.k.a. Knowledge in the Night. And, today's topic, like he was saying, is Artificial Intelligence USA. And this topic is actually going to be a science. And hopefully everybody that's on the line, if you feel like it's add on, because we're going to add it to the science as we go. It's a new jewel that we're going to present. And it's our first time ever building a science with the people that we share the information with. So this is kind of new. And we want to start digging into the aspect of artificial perception. And I think if we really can master this science and audit people's minds, or really figure out the relationship issues, the relationships, one-on-one issues, there's general relationships, like how you deal with people in public, or how people deal with you, because there's something going on between the way we see the world and the way the world sees us. There's something in the middle of that's like a film that's supposed to line up, and it's two films, but one, they just tilt one to the left and the other to the right, and it's not quite lining up. The same film, but when you put them together, the picture is blurry. But if you take them apart and separate them, you can see them clearly. But if you put them together, the picture is blurry. That's not a good thing. That's like unity is bad. You see what I'm saying? You want to share anything, add on some, Carbo, before we get started? Yeah, I mean, you got it. I mean, perception is everything. Perception is how we see things, our point of view. And without even our perception being artificial, it's still hard enough to decode things and navigate through life. So when you're dealing with the artificial perception, that can cause even more confusion. And like the brother Pomatic was saying, the high priest was saying that this is a core science that is actually the root of a lot of the issues people have in dealing with people. Because as human beings, what kind of separates us from animals, I mean, we are animals in a sense, but what makes us a little different, I'll say, is our relationship with people, how we have relationships with people and whatnot. And so I'm really excited about this science that we're getting into right now, artificial perception. The relationship, like as relation and ship in this journey we're gonna go on, and the actual boat we on, and the actual ocean we on. You know, I could be on a big boat, a little boat, and you tell me it's a big boat. And a lot of people's perception is that if I tell you this long enough, you'll believe that it's a little boat, a big boat. So, and it used to be back in the day, it was harder to do that to people, but now it's become easy. So now, a lot of these relationships we have are false in a sense, because there's something like only being based off of my perception of you, what I want to see you as, versus who you really are, and it's vice versa, who you want to see me as versus who who I really am, like that. So it's weird because it's new. It's new in the actual explanation and breaking it down as far as in general everybody can understand. And it's weird because it's like you can be in a situation, just to generalize before we go into the chamber, but you can be in a situation with somebody and they can have their own preconceived notion and perception of you that has nothing to do with you as a person standing and sitting right there next to them. It can be based off history relationships with other people, things being told to them, things being showed to them, things they heard, and taking it all in as their perception of you, when you can be acting the total opposite, but they would still treat you or respond to you as if you are the perception that they have. And that's a weird thing. So you looking at, like, unconsciously, you don't know what's going on. Y'all just getting into it. You might say this bitch don't know me or this nigga don't know me. But on the metaphysical, it's two people right there. That person that has a preconceived or artificial perception of you, if you're conscious of them having that, you can see the two people. You can see the person she think you is or he think you is, and you know you. So it's like when they start dealing with you in that manner, like as a conscious, like me being conscious, I can actually see that other person and actually get a form of an image of how they see me as outside of me being myself. And that becomes weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like the make. It's like it's artificial, and it's like how can I see this person you see me as and actually be able to see them sitting next to me and deal with this? And then once you interact with that energy like that, once a person sees you like that, or once a person has an artificial perception of you, they're going to deal with you based on how they see you. So they think you're ignorant, they're going to deal with you ignorantly. But if you respond to them, that just as well verifies their false artificial perception. So that makes you ignorant in their eyes, and they're ignorant in whoever else sees you. See what I'm saying? You have to damn near respond in a total opposite reaction to any of that shit. You have to throw that artificial perception off, because just you interacting with that person with their artificial perception of you or preconceived notion of you makes you that person, because you're not responding in a way of who you naturally are. You're responding in a way of who they think you are, who they want to see you as. Anything you want to add on, Carbo? Speculate on that? We're going to make it clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to make it clear right here, because when we're talking about relationships too, the relate part is understanding or understanding of something, how you relate to it. And the whole thing about it is, like, the brother was saying, he's able to, as a conscious being, he's able to see outside the fact that this person may see me this way, but I'm not this way. So what that tells me is, my next question is, like, how is he able to do that? And the thing about it is, the reason he's able to do it is because, or the reason I can do it too, kind of, is because we know that there's something that's maybe beyond the personality of the person. I mean, not to say that the personality is not a real thing that we can relate to, but there's something behind that. Because if you really want to break down the word person or personality, it comes from the Latin word persona, a Greek word persona. And if you break that down, that came from the word mask. Because, like, back in the day, those Greek freaks, they used to wear those masks when they do, like, their little dramas and shows to talk about, like, human relationship, human psychology. So they wear a mask behind their real face to represent an emotion or a personality. So what I'm saying is, like, maybe this gonna sound weird to a lot of folks, but this is how we do it. We think outside the box here. The person's not real. You know what I mean? It's really not real. There's something behind that. like it's a mask we wear in order to relate to people. But because of the circumstances we're in, we think that's all there is. You know what I'm saying? So what we're saying is, in order to see these relationships and how they affect us and how we're not what others think we are all the time, you got to be able to look behind the person, behind your personality, and like what's really behind there. You know what I'm saying?
Yourself. Reflect on self. That's the way to do it. That's the way to be conscious of breaking the spell on anybody else. Is the first going to yourself. The first check to see if this person that they see is there. And that's what you do. You got to sincerely, like Arbo was saying to me earlier when we had a conversation about forgiveness, you got to forgive your lower chakra. Once you do that, the lower chakra is going to say, okay, you know what? I had you on bullshit. You know, I had you out there bad. My bad, man. But, you know, we cool, right? And then therefore the union is made. Now, once you check yourself, you know who you are. You know how you responded. And this is what I call the matrix still running science, is where you're going to witness that the person never witnessed you change. The person never knew that you could change in the blink of an eye, which is a resurrection. Just like that, Easter. You know what I'm saying? I just had Easter right there. I just changed. So now I'm going to take to it what I figured out about myself that's negative, and I'm gonna convert it into a positive. But I'm going to still be right here with you. And I'm gonna respond to you with this new frame of mind, and watch how that other person responds to you as if you was the same, the old person, no matter how much time has gone past, to prove to them or let them see that you changed. And you will see that their artificial perception is locked. That it is an artificial perception. This person don't know that you're not hollering no more. But as soon as you open their mouth, why are you always hollering? Why are you hollering? Like, where I wasn't hollering. You see what I'm saying? So and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna keep it moving, but all of a sudden, the person, you're noticing that this person is not witnessing the change in you or the actual act that you reflected upon yourself and died and resurrected, meaning quickly died of that old bullshit about you and came back real quick. It had to take a lifetime. It was in an instant. So that's when you moving in the spiritual realm at about 1,000 miles an hour with the power. So you're going to witness that, and then you're going to try to figure out, this is where the argument come in a lot with relationships. You're trying to figure out, one person trying to figure out how to get this other person to see who they really are and how to get them to see that their perception is off. And that's a hard task to do, is trying to break down another person's perception of you. So you got to actually keep catching them in the moment when they don't see, when they're calling you out and your actions is not actually warranting their react, you know, what they're saying out their mouth. So now you got to keep calling out every moment. Every moment, nobody can holler. Well, you got to call it before it happens. You know, I'm not going to holler. So before you say why you hollering, I'm going to just say this real calm. And you have to do that shit. And that person, you're going to see them tweaking because they response is used to snapping out the body, but now you're talking in a way where it's holding that back. So now they're angry for no fucking reason because now you just shook up their emotions. They want to be mad, but your tone didn't bring out anger. So it's like, what the fuck, you know, what I do here? You know, but some people just override it. Some people override it and see you for what they want to see you in order for them to be who they think they is. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give an example of church people. They're in church. The pastor say, we shouldn't go to the club. You know, we shouldn't drink, or we shouldn't do this. They just came from the club. So what they'll do to keep that artificial intelligence, the artificial perception, to keep that program running, it'll actually make them, or they will subconsciously block out the preacher saying that. The type of way they won't even think about that no more. They'll think about everything else, but they won't think about that. And if a lot of times he breaks through the artificial perception of him saying certain things they know they have done, but they want to be righteous by the Lord's eyes, they'll stop going to that church and go to one that suits their needs. That doesn't talk about, you know, the conscience, you know, make them feel contradicting or guilty about the things they've done. So basically, what they're doing is a lot of church people go through where they'll say, "Well, God know I'm only human." So now they're reinforcing their artificial perception, meaning is I can go out and keep fucking up, and I'm gonna just say, "God know I'm only human. God know my heart. I'm only human. God know," and that's just like reinforcing your artificial perception, which is another way of saying I'm not going to learn from life's mistakes, which is wisdom, which is the second sphere, you know, under the middle nexus. You're not going to learn from life mistakes, or what I'm not going to gain wisdom from situations. And that's one way to break the artificial perception. So bring it home to y'all. Like I have a situation, or I had a situation a while ago when I was younger, with my baby mom, and it was in the fashion of that. You know, I don't do shit for my shorty. I don't take care of my kid, and you know, shit like that, and you know, good motherfucker, you know, good, you know, father, shit like that. But even and the father too, you know, he was under the Hebrew Israelite, so he was real religious with it. You know, to me, he broke every law, but still talked to me about the law. And I see how his perception of me by being me, you know, he was black, but he hated niggas like niggas. So he was like thinking I'm a thug, and his perception of me made him react to me as if I was this, even though I showed him I wasn't. So now back to the baby moms with these artificial perception of me. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. She has about my child anything since the baby was born, really. You know, put it like that. Second of all, my baby stayed with me. So how in these measurements of me, my actions, she still see me as a no good motherfucker. You know, her argument is you buy her too much shit, or she can't go to your grandma's funeral because she has to go to school. I don't feel she should miss school to go to the funeral. Do you see this artificial fucked up perception? So what I have to do is think of creative ass ways to deal with this. Because if I snap off and fuck her up, then I'm feeding into the artificial perception that this nigga crazy. So now it looks like, oh yeah, he just coming to the house beating the shit out of her. He wild as hell, goon mode, and they're gonna keep using that no matter if that was the first time or the last, no matter what. If it's just one time, they're gonna use that to keep reinforcing. No matter what I do in my life, I could be a minister. They're gonna still see me as that nigga that just beat the shit out of his daughter when she told him what she told him. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. So in saying that, look at what I deal with, just to get you an idea of how I came to study this. Because I said, how is it possible that I move a total different way and they still see me as this way? How the fuck is that possible? So what is they seeing? Let me look at this nigga they seeing. So I look next to me, and this a whole nother motherfucker. He got a fact his pants sagging and shit. He got 2 blunts in his mouth. I really I ain't on this. So who is this dude? And I'm trying to figure out how is they seeing this. So it's messing up the actual relationship because I'm outside of myself looking at the person they see. So and if I deal with it according to their ignorance, then that just verifies the artificial perception. So I have to say some shit like, he say some shit like, well, you know, if you don't study the word of the Lord, you're going to hell. And the good book said you should eat this and you should do that. And I might say something like, well, you know, a robin will come out and that means it's going to get warm. See, I have to do crazy shit like this to offset that. He'll look at the fuck. And I say, you know, some little shit like, well, the fruit don't fall too far from the tree either. And then, you know, his perception started thinking because, he basically talks this shit. But when you see the reality, like I always say, fuck with his mouth talking about wash his hands. The reality ain't nowhere near the word he's kicking. But
what it sounds like he's doing is, in that example, is he's picking out, like, he may see you with like the pelly on or like the starter cap on backwards, and he may just focus in on that little thing and think that's all you about. And that's what a lot of people do when they're uncomfortable with something or feel awkward.
Well, they need to feel better. That's a mechanism for me to feel better. That's a feel better mechanism. I gotta look down on you so I can feel good about me. You see what I'm saying? Because if I feel we equal, then who the fuck is me? You see what I'm saying? So I got to look down on you so I can feel good about me. So when you, like you say, the pelly tail, these items do hold visuals. These items do hold like power. But like I say about perception, we can go into the actual the nigga, the hood mode. Our perception, the basic relationship dealing with each other, artificial perception is fucked up. Because I don't know about females, but I do, know females, but the nigga can have on some Jordans and be walking, or he can have on some Jordans and a big old chain that looks like it costs about $150,000 if it's real, but he don't got a car. But because he got these shoes on and this big ass chain, in her mind, and he even thinks this in his mind that he look like $1 million, and she's not going to see past the fact that we going to your mama's basement, but your shoes cost $200, and according to that chain, they cost $150,000. You see what I'm saying? So we kind of let this shit slide off the artificial perception. But, and I'm gonna give you another example. If Jordans cost $50 or $22, would they really be like Jordan? Will people really be wearing the motherfuckers? You see what I'm saying? Look how fucked up that is. That if I charge you more money for these clothes, you gonna bounce. But if I charge you affordable price, you ain't gonna really want them. So the perception in the artificial perception is that is the nigga put on some really regular shoes and a t-shirt, go outside, he feels shitty about himself. So if he go buy $200 dollar shoes and put on a $600 pair of pants and a $300 t-shirt, now he feels good. His artificial perception of himself is, I am a star. I am a rapper. My shoes cost $200. Our outfit cost $8. I am the shit. But his reality is hell. His city is real. Is this shit real? Shit everywhere. His crib, he's standing in the fucking basement with a sleeping on the floor. Everybody got the mat, the mat on the floor, no bed frame, Nick. But just off the artificial perception of these are the Jordans, and I got on the new Robinsons, it changed his whole reality of who he think he is and how he think the world see him. He don't know the white man see him as look at this funny looking ass dude. He don't know that, you see, but he don't know some women looking at him like this clown. But he's not, his artificial perception is fucked up because a lot of women got enough sense to know that just because you got on that shoes and them clothes don't make you a man or don't make you who the fuck you think you is while you smiling talking about what's a baby girl. You see what I'm saying? Because the other day when I seen you with your regular clothes on, your McDonald's outfit, it wasn't baby girl, you kind of had your head down. So you see how certain items can change a person's perception, artificial perception of themselves. You want to add on, Bravo? Bravo, you still there?
Yeah, those things are. I'm here, brother. Those things are metaphors for what's going on and with a person's like you said, thoughts about themselves. Like we can take for in that example, when a dude goes out and he's wearing the $200 Jordans and the herringbone chain and all that, shit. He's looking good, and that can represent like your persona, like I was saying. The mask you show other people, but in reality, if you go back to his house, he's living in the basement where the mattress is on the floor and there's like sewage smell down there, mold and whatnot. And that could represent his true self, where he's at right now. Like the world know he think he's like this and that, like he's balling out of control. But when he goes back home to his true self, his house, he has a lot of work that needs to be done. It ain't a comfortable place to live. These things are metaphors for what's going on.
For what's going on. And a lot of women that now is boiling over to the point women is the perception is so, he done gave out a perception so false or so great that she'll see this mattress and see his crib and still think in her mind some type of way she'll overlook that this is gonna be okay. See what I'm saying? This gonna be cool because it's like back in the day, there's a lot of things we wouldn't accept, that goes on now because of our perception. As years go by, our perception become more shallow. It become more artificial. You see what I'm saying? And we don't deal with each other normally no more. We deal with each other in like a commercial world. You know how the commercial is when you got the soap and she in the kitchen and the kitchen is super clean and all this shit did the cut, the whole thing turn around. When people think that's an actual crib, people don't never know that the commercial gonna end. They think that she's gonna go upstairs and go to bed when they don't know that's a fucking commercial. The house ain't preppy all the time, right? But we living in a commercial world where everything is on the surface, which give us an artificial perception of everything we actually touching, or actually thinking. It's not what we actually seeing. It's what's been told, programmed for us to see. You see what I'm saying? And right. I think a brother Tobias had put something in described something earlier today to me, and he said it's funny how the alpha males find themselves still in a Samson and Delilah situation. Now, an alpha male, it's in his nature not to go for that bullshit. It's in his nature not to be sitting there up under a female, crying, whining, and begging and shit like that. It's in his nature not to take too much shit from his wife, the shit that Samson would take. But with the woman, what he was saying that he's seen instances where a woman have an alpha male and treat him like a beta. And wonder why she getting her ass whooped. You are hitting his core chamber. You hitting his core nerve. If you sitting there with, he, or you showed you he done fucked the nigga up, and you gonna sit here and flirt with a nigga in front of him, what do you think gonna happen? So this is where the alpha male has a serious issue because he has to leave his woman alone or deal with her from a Samson standpoint. And over time, if he don't leave her alone and he study trying to work it out because he's gone off the cookie, he study trying to make it work because he's gone off the cookie, he's going to find himself Samson. All because she's playing him like Samson and he has to respond like Samson. Because how else would he respond other than, why you do that? You know I love you. You shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. At first he was whooping her ass, but he's so tired of doing that. Now he's just saying, baby, you know I love you. I just want this to be right. So she has made him, through her artificial perception, a Samson-ass nigga at least 2 weeks. But the real beta male, it ain't going to last long because she going to get tired of him whooping her ass. And he going to think she's crazy. He going to say something wrong with her because she don't know me. And when people say that, that's what they trying to tell you is they got an artificial perception of me. When they say, this motherfucker don't know me. All this time I've been with this motherfucker, they don't know me. That's because what they're trying to say is they have an artificial perception. And when both parties have the artificial perception, the situation get lost in the bliss because you never know how to come back to a ground or a land or a country or come back to. Meaning is we can't sit at the table and figure this out because our own perception of who we think we are is artificial and then who we think we're looking at is artificial. So they have us looking at each other and they have a holographic screen in between us that's showing us some total different shit in the movie. So you got the man sitting there maybe cooking a steak and putting it on the table, and the female might see him as taking it out and putting it on the plate, bloody as hell with the knife. Like, nigga, what is you doing? And he's like, baby, I cooked the steak, I'm putting the butter on it. Oh. And then what you look like you was doing. And he's like, what the fuck did it look like I was doing? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We see it.
I mean, but everyone has this thing. Even if normally everyone has this thing about constructing a fake identity because, like, when you're born, you're thrown into a world that's crazy. I mean, most of us were born in hospitals. Can you imagine how that feels? You know, to a little baby, never been breathed air outside, and the first thing they see is it's an operating room with a doctor with a mask and all this crazy stuff being yanked out. So from that moment on, we construct these. We construct this story or an identity as armor to protect us from the trauma that we experience. And as we get older and older, we just put more armor to protect us from these traumas we experience through life. That's why what makes us a little different here at Godspeed Nation, I think we're kind of at a point where we can deconstruct those war stories we tell. Like, you know, I can't believe I made it from this situation. You know, my friend had this situation and we made it out. You know what I'm saying? It's because we're actually consciously trying to deconstruct these armor that we put up in order to figure out, like, what's the source of this trauma here, you know, so we can grow from it.
Ron Hubbard called them engrams, things that's been implanted or influence that's been implanted in your mind about things caused by things that happen that's really traumatic. It doesn't leave; it just imprint. It's like when they brand a person. I call it branding. It's when Smith brand your ass a couple of times, means you got scars. Meaning it's healed, but you can still see it was there. And to add on to what Carbo was saying is a lot of in our community we do construct an artificial perception of ourselves because the real reality of how we are told to see ourselves is way too traumatic. You see what I'm saying? And you have situations in Chirac where the people say, well, you know, if you ain't got the Jordans on and this and that, you ain't shit. So you got to have them. How is that? How have we come of a nation of Black Panthers, Fred Hampton, Angela Davis and stuff, and like that, to niggas people who's talking about if you don't got a pair of these shoes on or these type of pants, you ain't shit. So if I don't have this on in my day, that means I'm not nothing. So it costs me $200 to feel like I'm the shit, or to feel like I am the star, or I am, you know, because when a brother, you gotta understand something about the conscience. When a man standing there, he pressed himself, you gotta know he's looking at himself, telling himself that. You gotta know that, like, yeah, bro, I got these, you know, Kanye West is on. You know, he's telling himself this shit, you know, or like a brother in the club. He look normal compared to every other brother in there. a lot of them got nice cars outside. So in his mind, he's walking around and he got to keep reinforcing that image of his whip outside to give him the confidence to keep coming at these women. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got dubs outside. This is what he tell himself, shit. I'm a baller. So I do this for real. And baby girl, what's your name? You got to keep reinforcing his matrix, this imprint, because that gives him his confidence. And hopefully she's kind of playing him in the club. And all he's thinking is, now I got to get her to get outside to see my car. So that always be the first brother who leave the club early, run outside, park in front of the damn club, and then sit there. That be them type of brothers. They ain't got no game. They just need you to see their car. And the artificial perception of the woman is that I like the car. Damn, the car looks nice. The rims are nice. And then she get in the car and she go with the nigga. I don't understand it. Is you attracted to the car? Do you want to fuck the car? Or do you want to, you ain't even gave a chance to see what type of nigga in the car. This straight Mason is like, ooh, he's scratching his balls, digging in his nose, and the car got you accepting it. So think about that artificial perception. That, shit, he ain't did nothing but bought a car and then went to the store and got some rims and put them on it. That's really the reality of the situation. Anybody
Short has a song about that. He has a song called She Ain't Tripping Off Me, She Rather Fuck My Car. That's straight to the point.
And he knew back then, right? Like, look at Too Short. You mean tell me? Because if Too Short walked out the street, no woman say nothing to him. Well, no woman say nothing to him, but he in his Cadillac now with the kid on it and his own pocket. So it do make you ask the question. Even the brother that's entertaining the lady that's getting in the car, like, wow, I mean, you really like this car. I mean, do it turn you on? Is it say you want to rub it or how,
I mean, but like, is it the car? It's not the car that the woman, the female, Delilah, whatever you want to call her, wants to fuck. It's the pockets. I mean, it's just me, outside of looking in, it those around, just speaking from woman's point of view, or bathroom talk. It's not the car. It's the person that's affording the car. What you buy, that reflects off your pocket, your bank account, that's the mind anyway.
Okay. So the perception of the car,
right?
So it got her looking at him like, oh, he can do this. He can make things happen.
Right. She like that.
But we all know from the past experiences of car she jumped in before that nothing really happened, right?
Right.
Right.
That's all he had was a car. All the guy had was a car. He may have a car, but he got no. I don't know. Well, 9 times an hour. Always, but most of the time, you know what I'm saying?
But that goes back to like how y'all started the conversation also, the perception, if they looking at the car and thinking, okay, well, he can afford the car, he got money. Okay, it might didn't work with the last guy, but why not try it again? Maybe this time he got it. If not, I mean, I could just ride around and look cute in the car. I mean, that's what they do.
That's cool. We gonna ride with that. Now what about him being all yours? See the perception of you thinking, okay, he got a car, he got this nice, that. What makes the woman feel like, well, he's gonna be totally with me? See, her perception is off. It's artificial to think that it's gonna be only you. You see what I'm saying? Why do y'all go to the point where it be only you? You gotta think. So you said all of this stops with you. All this hustling and all this money he got stops with you.
They're not thinking about this. The only thing they're thinking about is what they're going to look like
what
in this car,
they want to believe,
and what
they want to hear
while I'm riding in this car.
Even though the phone going off, 100 going north under the way you at, they can make themselves not hear that, right? So they got to. I don't hear that.
No, lost.
Okay, but then at the time,
they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about the immediate gratification right there, I guess.
Right, Garbo, they're Paul, right? They're trying to manifest something that's not even there.
Based off of artificial perception, and both each other tricking each other. So
right.
Okay. I get what you said.
What they call it nowadays? I ran off with the plug, on the plug or something like that.
So you
basically, I get what I want and I run off.
That's about right.
There you go.
Okay, I get what I want and I run off. But at the perception level of it is, she's the man for him, he's the woman for her. He said, my last girlfriend did this, he did. I don't do nothing of that. I don't do none of that. I'm the total opposite. And he said to her, as he's talking to her, he's really explaining himself under the game act. Like, well, I like to school, but she like to fight. And he's telling her that he don't like to fight. He's like, he's really popping his weed. Under that, and she's verifying it, saying that, well, I don't like to fight either. I ain't this and I ain't that. But in that perception mix-up is the question each other asking themselves deep down is why the fuck you by yourself there? I mean, I don't know.
Right, because that's what I like to do.
Right, if you saw the girl for me, why are you by yourself? And she thinking the same thing. Well, you see with all these women, all this money, you ain't got no girl. So the perception becomes very tricky because you artificially trick yourself to fall into the situation. And then once y'all feel y'all got a little power over each other on the emotional side, then you pull the guns out. Who the fuck is that? Who is she? Who is that? I thought you said you ain't like to argue. And that come out. Our relationship messed up, and we keep doing it over until we find ourselves by ourselves because we've been dealing with each other off of artificial perception.
Right. And then when those that haven't, they meet different, speaking from a Takata point of view, those type individuals are misunderstood, or taken as too different. They so different, it's like fire, it's too hot to even touch because one is not used to something being its opposite as far as what we on right now, what you call it, artificial perception. They so used to fake, they can't take real. They don't know, how to accept real loyalty.
You be the black sheep. That's what happened. You become the black sheep. The real one become the black sheep of the situation of the family. The real one always become the black sheep in the midst of all this false shit. Because, like you say, the real is too real. It's too, how they put it, why don't you just let me, they call it live or fantasize. Like a person that like to tell you so they're going to do something, y'all will talk about it, and you will say something like, well, maybe, we know we ain't going to do none of this. Because last time, every time we do this, we don't do none of this. And the person might be like, man, come on, go on with that. Really, they know you're right, but they just want to live in that moment that they might do with the fuck they said they was going to do.
Oh, they got a zine for it now. If I don't know, fuck how it turns out. That's the new thing. Just do whatever. Fuck how it turns out. Do it and we'll deal with the consequences later.
Oh, shoot. That's just pretty fucked up. That is highly messed up.
Right.
That is a send-off man thing. That is definitely dangerously thinking. But that's, and another thing, the spin-off what you were saying is how the gangs, niggas relate, really gangs of brothers relate is that everybody's scared to tell each other no. Everybody's scared to say no. So if it's like, let's knock this old man ass out and shoot him in the head, everybody in the car want to say no, but they're not going to say no based off the artificial perception of how they feel they're going to look to themselves and to the other guy looking at them. So whoever say no, which is the one who is like, man, hell no, y'all did what? We going to go to jail or we going to go home and play PlayStation? Which one you want to do? Because if we're going to go to jail, we might as well just walk to the jail. Either one looks like the scary one or the pussy. So everybody feels like this.
2016, that's when Sahu yells out, look how it turns out, and they just do whatever.
Right, 448. Why you think the situation come out to them crying and shit? You know what I'm saying? When they do that, when you be like, okay, y'all murdered the boy, y'all did this heinous crime, you was walking around kicking and shit. Now that you in here, you crying and shit, and the question is, you don't even know why you did it. Now you don't even, you know what I'm saying? You don't even. You're telling on your boys, and your boys telling on your boys, and now you don't even know. Matter of fact, you're telling on yourself. That's a problem. But go past that. You don't even know why you did it. Now you're crying. What happened to this feeling before you did this shit? I should have been there. I wish I wasn't there. Someone told me. I know you was thinking this when it was going on. The price was going on. But what happened? The artificial perception kept each other in that matrix lock and hold. Meaning is, if I say something, their perception of me is gonna be I'm a pussy. But a lot of times the brother don't know, they already might think you're a pussy. It's just your artificial perception got you thinking you just done it because you pulled out the water gun on the nigga. Like nobody didn't see it was a water gun. You see what I'm saying? It's funny.
Yeah, because it's real funny because it's like 5-year-old mind trapped inside of adult bodies,
Exactly.
in adult bodies. And they're constantly doing the same things that they should have learned, in toddler years.
Yeah, you touch that fire, you're gonna get burnt. So that goes back to why I say the way to break the artificial perception mentality is with wisdom. I mean, how can you? This line connects to this line, connects to this line, connects to this time, and you see how it works. And once you see how it works, how can you fall up under it? So a lot of times, wisdom is taken very lightly, meaning learning from life situations. Like it's taken very lightly.
Would you just describe, Brother Format, excuse me, is what to me is the definition of metaphysics, is finding the cause behind things, behind the physical. By deconstructing and going back, this connected here, this and that. That's true metaphysics. I mean, it isn't always like some magical, like spectacular, show or anything. It
never was. It never was. It's all humanly see the perception of Jesus and walking on water and all that cross shit. That's what got us thinking it's magic. That's what got it spent out of the reality of our grasp is that Santa Claus shit they feed is the false perception, the artificial perception. Because right, if you believe Jesus is gonna come out of the sky, if you believe in Santa Claus, your reality and perception is off. That is off. That ain't. Why would it happen? Why would it happen then and not happen now? So you believe this though. So you waiting on Jesus, and if he don't come, you going to heaven. So you going to a little place in the sky where you can dance around the clouds, and this is what you saving your whole life for is to die to do what? Live. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. If you the perception, the kids already coming out with this correct perception, asking these questions. But if the question is too great, like what they did to Jesus is, you can get your ass out of here and talk